joining this webinar. And today I'm going to discuss how to empower your business, the ultimate guide to remote work. So today I'm going to discuss what are the challenges to increasing demand in remote work. How do we solve these challenges? Solution overview and demo. Then last, we're going to have a Q&A. So for everyone, if you have any questions, feel free to use our chat box. Just key in your question in there and we will try to answer it in the end of the session. Okay. As of today, the total number of COVID-19 cases in the Philippines is 27,230, and it will continue to grow until we develop a vaccine. Having said this, there is an increase in demand in working remotely, and not everyone is prepared for this. While the pandemic continues to grow globally, we should learn how to adapt to the new norm and prepare how are we going to support our remote workers. As we all know that even after this pandemic, our traditional way of work is going to change forever. Now, the question in here is how can we eliminate these challenges and stay productive? On average, an employee spends 2 days a month finding what he needs. We access at least 8 different portals daily for just looking for an information, and it restricts our productivity. Imagine you will be able to use those extra hours on doing your reports or allotting it on your time constraint activities. Next is communication gap. We are accustomed to face-to-face meeting or communications. That's why we are all hesitant on doing things digital. And today, most of us still use email as our main platform for announcements and communications. We use it for announcement of outages, maintenance on critical applications, and we even use it as our tool to report for technical issues or concern. That fact that email our email storages are not ready for an increasing email communication. And that is a challenge not only to our IT, but also our company, as we need extra spaces, especially in these trying times. Third, a lot of us still rely on traditional support system. Aside from using email to report an issue, we also use our local landline and mobile phones to contact our technical support. And even I used to contact our IT at least 6 to 8 times a week just to ask for assistance. And this is not only true to me. I also hear these challenges to a lot of other companies as they are experiencing the same. Just to share, recently, I received an inquiry from one of the customers just like you, and they are still using paper form to report an issue, and this is not possible in our current situation. And last is on how we provision our application. Having a pandemic or not, this is the challenge. This is the challenge that we had to face, especially for our IT support, as troubleshooting or installing an application can be tedious depending on the application that you're trying to provision. And it can be more challenging right now if the application that you need is not available online for download. These are just some of the examples that we are experiencing on a daily basis. And I'm sure there are still a lot of challenges that we encounter aside from these 4 that I have mentioned. BMC's solution to these challenges is to deliver a self-service portal that aggregates all your catalogs and information that you need in a single pane of glass. So you will be able to access the solution on any device anytime, anywhere. You just need a standard internet connection to use it. BMC also create messages and information that can be communicated to multiple users, even if you're in the office or at home. Now, BMC also allows you to perform remote sessions for managing, troubleshooting technical issues without using VPN. With BMC Remedy Force, we integrated with Salesforce, which is the #1 platform as a service solution in the world. This is to create one of the best cloud-based solution that can be accessed with the use of standard internet connection. It was designed to deliver fast, customer-centric digital IT service management solution that enable your business to compete against digital enterprises. Remedy Force empower users and businesses to enable companies to be agile and competitive by aligning its features to ideal best practices. It also streamlines and automates IT processes to be more efficient and effective by employing faster and simpler working methods to make sure that you don't need the special skills or resources. It's so simple that you only need a little to no customization at all. And one of the great part in here is even if Remedy Force upgrades, all configuration will be left untouched, and there is only limited solution that can do it in the market. And since our Remedy Force is in the cloud, this will reduce the total cost of ownership as you don't need to maintain traditional hardware. This will allow you to realize the value of your solution in just 45 days or less. And this is very important if you're going to justify the budget of this solution in your management. Having said that, I know that you're all excited to see the solution, so I'm going to give the floor to my colleague. MP, can you share your screen?
Hi LA, hi everyone. Thank you LA for that superb introduction. How about um, how BMC can help us in these times of crisis and boosts remote work. Now let me share you my screen. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay, so
Yes,
okay, thank you LA. So now let me proceed to give you a technical idea how BMC Remedy Force and BMC Client Management, or BMC, it's how we call it in our internally. Okay, so now let's start with the BMC Remedy Force comprehensive functionality. Okay, so number one is service requests. So service request is basically you can create a self-service website for your clients that they can use to submit incidents or tickets and even service requests. Okay, you can even search for a solution to an issue and read knowledge articles here in this self-service. Okay, so about multi-channel self-service or multi-channel self-service, it gives IT staff the flexibility to address issues from any device, including mobile. And same with the clients, it can also improve employee experience to raise a ticket or check service health within the organization. For knowledge management, BMC Remedy Force has a knowledge management that you can create, publish knowledge articles to share troubleshooting, how to, and other information that is commonly required by users in your organizations. Users can search these knowledge articles from the global search page, the incident form, and even the self-service. Okay, so now let's go to incident management. Incident management basically enables you to enter, maintain, and resolve client issues. Okay? BMC Remedy Force can enables you to build knowledge base as you create and resolve the incidents. As you work on the issue, BMC Remedy Force can maintain and complete the audit trail and records the date and time of each action occurred to the specific ticket. The staff member also performs the work and the time spent on the working and on working the issue, and it also can provide information how to solve the next issue or to generate a report for the management. So uh, all of these processes or modules of Remedy Force is ITIL aligned. So rest assured that BMC Remedy Force is ITIL aligned and has the out of the box uh, smart practices features when it comes to um, managing ITSM. All right. So now for reporting and dashboard, as I've said earlier, BMC Remedy Force has a reporting and dashboard built in, and it provides insights and to track KPI or performance of our organization's IT service desk. Okay, clear? So for now, last for survey, we can also deploy surveys for those tickets once the case is closed or resolved. And all of these modules tackled here is on top of the Salesforce platform, who's currently leader in security and trust for SaaS, okay? And also has a seamless integration and also has an available applications on the App Exchange to boost your organization's ITSM depending on your requirements. Okay? So now let's move on. That's basically the features of BMC Helix Remedy Force. Later on, I'll show you how it looks, and then I'll give you some insights how it works or some use cases. Okay. So now let's proceed first to BMC Client Management Suite. So for BMC Client Management, what we can offer is that we can provide you an inventory that provides insights for smart decision making, visibility for our assets and whereabouts. Okay, and also we can also provide you an OS deployment or application deployment. Okay, so let me give you a scenario here. I know sometimes when a development team completed a certain projects that requires a lot of time for them to deploy. This production is like I've said earlier with or LA said earlier, it will consume time like weeks, months to comply. And with BMC client management, we can automate software or even OS deployment for end users satisfaction also. Now, for patch management, BMC Client Management has a feature of a patch management that this one can be a pain in our special ITs or especially ITs since patches are important for compliance and organization security. Okay? So this will also help us save time and secure the endpoints from all the vulnerabilities. For compliance, like I've said, the organization can reduce the risks if all endpoints are under organization policy compliance. All right. So last is the remote management. BMC Client Management can offer or help our ITs to improve end user satisfaction and productivity. Note that remote management can do multiple remotes without the connectivity of a VPN. That's how powerful BMC Client Management is. All right. So, uh, I think that's it for my presentation. So, these are some of the slides or the pictures for BMC Client Management, for deployment, for inventory, for patch management, compliance, and also remote control. So Now let me show you a slide for our demo flow for BMC Remedy Force. So first, we're going to show you the banner feature of how we can improve employee experience for your organization. All right. So I'll also show you some common service requests like a COVID-19 health survey that can help us track our organizations or staffs and employees' health in these times of crisis. All right. So I'll show you also a service help that will show the building access if there's a disruption in our organization's building. Okay. Create ticket, show knowledge article, request a service request, show activity or my profile, and then show you the email notification once uh, the ticket is done, once the ticket is been created. All right. Okay. So now let's go to my self-service. Okay, so this is the example of my Remedy Force self-service or self-service portal. Okay, so basically this is the life of our client. Okay, so for our first example, here, as you can see, there's a banner here or a broadcast that says skeletal workforce until July 15 and to observe social distancing, no further notice. So we have here our uh, building access that shows there's a skeletal workforce right now that's happening and starts with June 1 to minimize the number of people coming in and out of the building. Okay, so for the next one is that HR reminders. It says that here that the health survey will serve as daily attendance. Okay, so that's very important if ever that's mandatory to our organization. So here's an example of my common service request of COVID-19 health survey. So let's try to answer this. So example, I'm from TSG department or technical support group, and I don't have a fever or I don't have a cough or signs of symptoms, and my area is not on lockdown too, so I can transport and I'll be able to report into office via motorcycle. Okay, so let's submit it. Okay, so now this is the example of my service request ticket number. Okay, so let's take a look at that number or my ticket. So here it is. It's now open and it's already submitted and it's available to our service desk view. Later on, I'll show you what's the content of those ticket. Okay. So next example is that how about let's create a request service or a service request. For example, we'll be asking for a oh no, let's create a ticket first that describes. Okay, so I'll show you one of the features of Remedy Force that it has a context aware feature like Google. So upon typing, let's say for example I can't access send email. Let's like that. So I can send email. Automatically, Remedy Force self-service will provide. Okay, it took a while. So it automatically provides me self-help articles. These are also one of the example of knowledge management or KBs that is already included out of the box of uh, BMC Helix Remedy Force. So let's say I'll try to check this self-help article. Then let's try to read it, and let's say for example it doesn't help or it did not meet my needs. So let's say no, then submit. Then let's proceed to creation of the ticket. Okay, so let's categorize this as email and messaging services, and then submit. All right. So that's how easy to work with BMC Helix Remedy Force. So in just few clicks, you can create tickets, and automatically there's a templates that's already that can help you provide uh, what what is your category that is needed to be provided. Okay. So now let's try this request a service. All right. So requesting a service, let's say I'll be needing a software application like a Mozilla Firefox. So I want to request to install Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome in my computer. So in this time of pandemic, I'm sure that some of our employees or staffs aren't ready since this pandemic or this lockdown last month was very uh, uh, what do you call this? We're not yet ready, or we're not ready to be work from home. All right. So let's try to submit this, and then let's proceed to our uh, email notification. All right. So let's check if there's an email. If there's an email that's already been sent to me upon creation of my ticket, and then let's proceed to our console or the service desk staff. Okay, so these are the tickets that's been created with demo client, just like earlier. So this one is the number 3073, the COVID-19 response. Okay, so everything is false. And so for the demo client that's been created for what do you call this? The software, all right? So this is the example of the ticket that's been created for the software. Now let's proceed to our Remedy Force console, okay? So for our Remedy Force console, this would be the life of our service desk staff or our fulfillers. Okay, so our fulfillers have different views depending on their roles or profiles. So they can either have service requests or incidents, just like earlier. So for example, these are the service requests. Not only the uh, the HR related, like this COVID-19. You can also have here the incidents here, and then like this incident AutoCAD not responding, and then we also have here the broadcast that's you've been deployed to our self-service, just like earlier. So these are the message. So for example, the HR skeletal workforce announcement. So you can create the broadcast here and then deploy it to your self-service portal, or even here you can view it here and follow to view the updates. Okay, so now let's take a look on our service request. So in this view, we can filter columns that are our most convenient view. For example, I want to view the name only and the priority and the description. So I can drag this down, due date and due date progress, and save it. So it can so I can easily view what are the things that are matter to me, right? So for example, the number only and the description and the status of the ticket. Okay, so for example, let's try to view this. So automatically the uh, the details that we inputted earlier at the self-service is already populated here, and now we'll just have to assign a staff. So for example, we'll just have to assign a staff to receive these details, since this is just only for our survey. Okay, and then save. Now we can also assign this status to assign, accepted, or whatever is it, resolve. But since this is for our just survey, it doesn't matter, and we can configure this survey to more related to your organizations. Okay. All right. So now let's go to, for example, let me show you some additional features in our service request tab. So we can check the details here. If there's a link task or an approval history or even a configuration or assets that is linked. Also, we can see the incident history. What are the updates that's been changed to this specific ticket? Okay, and we can also view it here like a smart view with the graphical view with all the link tasks or CIs, and then the summary of your service request ticket and what actions is done. All right. So now, let me show you an example of my reports. So let's say, for example, since you're a business manager or I'm a business manager, and I'll be needing reports that that's related to COVID-19. So, for example, I have here a reports that consist of departments. So by departments and how they are what is their mode of transportation trying to get to our office, and then if they have symptoms. All right, so you can see it here via reports, and you can even customize these, make changes like add some groups. All right, to further filter what are your requirements for your reports. All right, so it's just a drag and drop feature just like this. So they are now categorized or groups by symptoms. Okay, so I can even have or add additional information here with regards to the ticket, like for example the last name. I'll add it there. Okay, so by last name. So that's just how BMC uh, reports work. Okay, drag and drop features. So that's very essential right now and nowadays, especially if you're not too techy. Okay, so let's try to close this, and let me show you my pre-built dashboard for our COVID-19 situation. So let's say, for example, this one. This one is my example for my demo dashboard. So I have here a dashboard that is, you can see a pie graph and a bar graph form, that where accounting has an eight number of records that's going to use a private car. Okay, so here we have here by department record count if they are complying to our health survey. So for example, this one, the TSG, they have a uh, four, what do you call this, four tickets, or four tickets that submitted. And then we can even drill down this reports or dashboard to report form. All right. So now I think that's it for my Helix Remedy Force. I think we can proceed now to our BMC Client Management. So for our BMC Client Management, I'm going to discuss or show you the device topology or the related assets or endpoints that's related to each other, and then the asset summary that whether you like it to view in the hardware view, software view, security, and even the compliance, and also an operational rules that lets us give a step by step configuration for about for example for our remote workers. Ayan. Okay, so for remote and deploy sample application, we'll be going to do that also. All right, so let me show you my screen again. Okay, so now we're here in our BMC Client Management. Okay, can you see my screen? So so this the client management, and then you have here in your homepage the dashboard, or this will be the life of the admin or the staff, IT staff of your organization. So we can switch it to wizard and to experts, this one. But basically, wizard allows you to view the systems installed, the patch management reviews, application and OS deployment, and many more. Also asset discovery. Okay. So now let's go to my inventory here in my uh, device topology. Okay. So let's go to the laptop called Flight Deck PC. All right. So now we're here to laptop flight deck PC. We can view all of the information regarding this laptop, its IP address right now, the parent server it's connected, all right, hypervisor, okay, and many more details. So when you drop down this one, we can also view here or even remote it later. Okay. The inventory, this one. The inventory. So we can view the asset summary of our laptop, like for example, the IP address and the subnet mask and the hardware details, like the operating system, what are the software installed in this specific laptop. Okay, so let's try to drag it down. All right, so that's are the softwares installed. If it's has a security security applications like a firewall, and then if it is under compliance, still under compliance. All right, so we have here the evaluations of our ITs. Okay. So now let's try to remote this flight deck PC, and let's try to deploy, for example, a Mozilla Firefox. So before we do that, I'd like to show you here the operational rules. So for operational rules, basically we can deploy series of actions to our endpoints. So like for here in example, the Z demonstration, I have here the home worker application deployment. But for the sake of this presentation, I'll show you instead how I remote the endpoint. So like for this example, we'll be deploying an application like a Mozilla Firefox, like we requested before. All right. So let's go now there. It's a bit laggy. I'm very sorry for the lag. So let's try to remote this one. So let's say for example in the real scenario, before we remote the specific user, we needed to we need to at least give a dialogue or a prompt message that you're going to remote the user's endpoint or the user's laptop. Like for example, you're asking for permission. So that's how operational rules works. That's one of the operational rules works. So we'll be asking permission. But in my example, I don't have here operational rules example because it's a bit laggy when I tried to access it earlier. So I didn't have time to create those steps. But for the sake of presentation, let's say this one is the example of my laptop that's being remote right now without VPN, right? That is already connected to my master server. Okay, so let's try to install this one. So with clicking run, will now proceed the Mozilla Firefox installer. All right. So let's try to wait for it. Now, while remote in this one, we can easily go to different tabs. Like let's go to our other features or console of BMC Client Management. Okay, so I think it's already done. Okay, so I think it's already deployed. So that's how we deploy or remotely uh, deploy an application to our specific endpoints. Okay, so for our client management, let's go back there. So let's try to X this one and exit. Okay, so now as you can see here, we have different uh servers or endpoints that's already connected to Amplify server. Amplify 02 master server. Okay, let's try to disconnect this first. So we can view this device topology just like this. Okay, so for our client management, we can easily devise or track all of the endpoints that's already been connected to our Amplify master server seamlessly. All right, so I think that's it for my demo, and it's a bit laggy for in my side, so I'm very sorry for uh, uh, this issue. Okay, so let's go back to our presentation. LA, hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay.
Hi. So, if you have any questions, feel free to use our chat box below. For now, I'm going to flash some. I'm going to share my. I'm going to share my screen. MP, can you see my screen?
Yes, 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 I can.
Okay. So, hi everyone. We're offering a promo for our client management in case you want to try it. So, we're providing free 90-day on-premise subscription, and this is valid until August 30, 2020. So, you will be able to experience the client management solution in your organization. Now, if you want to try it, you can contact us and we can assist you on how we can set this one up. Next one, we're offering a Remedy Force starter kit promo, where you can start using your very own modern ITSM solution in just 10 days. So as quick as 10 days, we can help you deploy your ITSM solution, especially right now when it's needed. Now this promo is valid until December 2020 only, and the minimum license for the Remedy Force is 15. Or in case you need a lower license, we can talk this one out. Just give us you can reach us through our email. So we're going to provide the uh, email contacts, or you can contact Shellsoft, our partner for this webinar. Okay. Is there any questions? By the way, you can use the evaluate. Please use the evaluation link that was provided by Jilan. So this is the evaluation for this session. So I'm going to pause for at least 3 minutes. If you have any questions, please type it.
Thank you to our speakers, Lloyd, LA and MP. Does anyone have a question? I would like to remind everyone that before you leave, uh, please evaluate our webinar. The link can be found in the chat box. So I hope you learned something. Maybe you would want to ask our experts on how you can deploy it in your office, or if you are interested, if you want to know more, feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions, or you can just type it in the comment or in the message box that we have.
Yes, and actually, this presentation and demo is just a high-level presentation and demo just for everyone to see the overview of our solution. Now, if you need or if you want a presentation that is specific to your needs, or if you have any requirements when it comes to our solution, if you have any requirements in the IT service management side or in the endpoint management solution side, please let us know so we can set up a separate or a session with you and show how we can help. Okay, thank you. If there's no questions, I think that's it for us. Again, thank you for joining our webinar. My name is Lloyd Santiago, and thank you.
Please don't forget to answer our evaluation form. Thank you.